Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another first try. Today we're going to take a look at the amazing Princess Sarah. Well, that's the entirety of the video. You can turn off now. No, just kidding. We're going to take a look at the game itself and not her. And when I see cover pictures like that and the title, I commonly ask myself, well, what came first? The picture? The character? Or the tile? It's a chicken and egg problem, basically. But we're not here to philosophize about that. Well, what is it? It's a platformer developed by Haruneco Entertainment. And, well, I would say we're going to take a look at the game. What I have to say though is, first off, I want to apologize for the lack of the videos in the last week. It has been fairly busy and horrible, and busy and horrible. Therefore, sorry. Without further ado, we take a look at the options menu first though. No separate audio sliders, just yes or no. For the music and the sound effects. Graphics options, we have resolution, full screen and filtering of some sort. Well, hell yes. Why not? And the controls, which are all fully rebindable. Yes, indeed. That's fairly nice, to say the least. What is a bit funny is, I think, is the prompts here on the right bottom side are with the keyboard controls. But yeah, that's just minor nitpicking here. So, without further ado, we're going to take a look at the game. Yes, my save will be overwritten. It was only at level 3. Are you sure? Yes. By the way, this game has no dialogue whatsoever, as far as I've seen. But what it has is pixelated big boobs. A lot of them. I think in the animation of these two characters, the moving boobs are the most important part. And if I should stop pointing out something about the boobs, let me know in the comments. Well, not that it does matter in any way, shape or form. So, here we go. You move around, you can use the analog stick or the D-pad. For the platforming sections, I highly recommend the D-pad, because the analog stick is a little bit inaccurate. Or to say the least, if you don't want to move, be sure to keep your analog stick right in the middle. What is also funny that I kept my levels from the last save file, so this should be a little bit more easy. As you can see, we can pick up objects and chuck them right into the opponents, and we can pick up these opponents as well and chuck them in another opponent again. This way, come on, we can make combinations. And yeah, but we can also kill them this way. So there are different ways to engage in combat, and the mechanic of picking up and chugging enemies as well as objects is something I find relatively interesting, especially when I think about enemies having different effects, like the arrow shooting enemies, shoot, arrows when they die, which is fairly nice. As you can see, the multiplier here shows what combination we are currently at. And the more combinations you get, the more experience you get, and the faster you level up. This is also a fairly nice opponent to chuck at your enemy. Ow. Crap. And this way you go through the levels. You fight your way through, or you avoid combat entirely. It's up to you. And yeah. Speaking of levels, the level design is, in my opinion, relatively good for a title like that. Let's put it that way, I've seen way worse than that, so good job on that one. The only minor complaint I have is that the positioning of the save points is sometimes, yeah, a bit unfair. Because you have a save point before an relatively difficult platforming section, and afterwards you don't have that for a fairly long time. So now I can choose to fight these enemies here, run away. Because I'm a fighter, going to wreck them, or they are going to wreck me. I think they're going to wreck me. Crap. Or I do that. That works too. What I would also like to point out is the... Come on. The sound design and the music are also quite nice in my opinion. I will let you hear a little bit. And there the music stops. So fairly good in my opinion, the soundtrack, as well as the audio design. The looping of the music is also fairly well done. So in that opinion as well, and I mean in that, come on, from that perspective as well, fairly good job. And we come to the first boss fight, which is 2 legs and a head. And since I'm at such a high level, I can kill her very easily. So every playthrough gets progressively easier. And that's that for level 1. And that's a fairly obnoxious complete font right there. Each level has its own music, which is also really good. And as you might have seen, beloved ice mechanics are also in this game at this stage. So that draws everything together, and lets me come to my conclusion. Is the game worth it? Well, consider the following. It has taken me a little bit to get used to the controls, but in the end it plays fairly well. The mechanic of throwing enemies into each other and discovering new ways of killing them is always a nice, good enjoyment to have. And the boss fights so far are fairly interesting and unique. The graphics are fairly okay, and the audio design is pretty good in my opinion. And they are asking for 5 euros or your regional equivalent. Do I have to say more? I would say you can buy it full price in this case. I don't know what would keep you away from that. It's $5, you get $5 or for 5 euros. You'll get big boobs, pixelated, and okay, no. You get a game as well, not only the big boobs. So, this has been the Amazing Princess Sarah, ladies and gentlemen. 5 euros or regional equivalent. And until the 25th of August, it's 15% off, so even more worth grabbing. My name has been Nick, ladies and gentlemen, and Amazing Princess Sarah made it first try. And I shall see you next time.